Fade in. Wide shot. A dead earth, shrouded in swirling storms and bone-dry clouds. Once blue oceans are now rusted plains. Silence reigns, but for the whine of a descending dropship slicing through the ashen sky. Interior, command bridge, UFS Halberd-class scoutship, Eidolon. Static crackles. A voice breaks through. Ground team, status report. No answer. Command to Helios team, report. Still silence. Captain Dax Farrell tightened the grip on his armrest, knuckles pale under the dim lighting. The ship's AI, Orion, blinked in amber patterns across the console. Signal's gone, Orion said calmly. Just like the last one. Dax didn't flinch, but his jaw ticked. 10 of them had gone down. Elite soldiers. Scientists. Friends. Gone. And now, he was next. Flashback, just 36 hours earlier. Scene, Council Chamber, Orbital Command. Dax stood in front of 3 High Coalition admirals, the weight of all humanity pressing down on his spine. You want to send another team? He asked, voice tight. Admiral Lauren, silver-eyed and colder than vacuum, didn't blink. This is Earth, Captain. If something's down there, we need to know. 10 people went dark. You think a smaller crew will do better? Not smaller, she said. Just you. Silence. Dax looked from one face to another. No emotion. No room to argue. Am I the mission? He murmured. Or the sacrifice? Back to present. The Eidolon broke cloud cover. What was left of Earth's skyline peeked through, a ruined lattice of skyscrapers half submerged in sand. Somewhere beneath that wreckage, something had swallowed an entire team of trained operatives. Interior, dropship bay. Dax suited up. Matte black armor, modified for radiation zones. His helmet hissed shut, locking into the spinal frame. His fingers hovered over a photo magnetized inside the forearm plate. A little girl with bright eyes and a missing tooth. His daughter. Lost when the planet fell. He hadn't looked at her in 6 years. Until now. You sure about this, Captain? Orion's voice echoed through his HUD. No, Dax said, stepping into the launch tube. But I'm the only one left who doesn't run. The launch clicked. The floor dropped. EXT, Earth's surface, twilight. The capsule smashed into the soil with bone-rattling force. Dax kicked the hatch open and stepped onto ancient ground. The world was suffocating. No wind. No sound. Just the crunch of dead glass under his boots. His scanner lit up. Faint energy pulses, origin unknown. He followed. Blocks of gutted buildings loomed like the skeletons of gods. One still bore the scorched logo of a Coalition research lab, Helios Space. He entered cautiously. Inside, everything was untouched. Mugs still sat on desks. A coat hung on a hook. Terminals flickered. A journal lay open, pen resting mid-sentence. They were here minutes ago, he whispered. He activated his helmet cam. Orion, I'm transmitting visuals. Confirm timestamp. Confirmed, Captain? That journal entry is 31 minutes old. Impossible. They've been missing for days. Correct. And yet... The lights cut out. Dax froze. Something moved. Not a sound. Not a step. Just a shift in the air, like breath being sucked from a room. He raised his rifle. Identify! He barked into the black. Nothing. Then movement on the ceiling. The lights flickered. A shadow darted. He fired. The round passed through empty air. And then, a figure emerged. Human. Female. Pale. Eyes wide, unblinking. She looked drained. Hollow. Lieutenant Kale? Dax said, lowering the rifle. She didn't speak. Just stepped forward, and whispered. You shouldn't have come. He stared. Where's the team? Her lip trembled. Blood trickled from her nose. They're listening, she whispered. They learned from us. Who? She opened her mouth to answer. Her eyes rolled back. She collapsed. Int. Eidolon, Bridge, live feed. Captain Viral, do you copy? I found someone. Lieutenant Kale. She's alive. Barely. Evac window closes in 14 minutes. Radiation surge incoming. Prep the chamber. Dax growled, lifting her limp body over his shoulder. EXT, Earth's surface, dusk turns to night. As Dax ran through the ruins, the city moved behind him. Buildings subtly shifted angles. Windows blinked. Machines whispered in voices that weren't mechanical. He didn't look back. Something watched. Int. Eidolon, airlock chamber. Dax staggered in, panting, setting Kale on the medical pod. Her pulse was erratic. I need answers, he said to her, gripping her hand. What did you see? She tried to speak. Her voice was dust. Not them anymore. Her eyes rolled up again. A final exhale. Flat line. Gone. Dax stood there, the quiet humming of the ship like a funeral dirge. Orion, he said low. Scrub the footage. Lock it under my code. Understood, Captain? And prep for decontamination. What should I mark the mission log as? Dax turned toward the viewport. Earth spun slowly beneath him. Mission failed. Pause. No survivors. Int. Coalition Medical Station, Deep Orbit, 7 days later. Captain Dax Viral sat motionless under sterile lights, his arms locked to the chair's restraint field. Monitors blinked quietly, watching every breath, every flicker of thought behind his steel-gray eyes. He hadn't spoken a word since returning from Earth. Not during debrief. Not during psych evaluation. Not even when they buried Lieutenant Kale's body in deep space. He just stared forward. Unblinking. Silent. A team of specialists observed from behind a one-way panel. No trauma markers, said Dr. Senya Vallis, head of psychoanalysis. But elevated cortisol, disrupted REM cycles, and nonverbal dissociation. Something's wrong. Something happened down there, replied Admiral Lauren, arms folded. And he's hiding it. Or protecting us from it. The Admiral's eyes narrowed. What did Earth do to him? Int. Isolation room, same moment. A soft hiss. The door opened. Dax didn't look up as the one person he hadn't expected stepped inside. Commander Eli Roon. Ex-squadmate. Friend. The last of the old guard who still trusted him. You look like hell, Eli muttered, pulling up a chair. No response. He sat, leaned forward, elbows on knees. They want to court-martial you, Dax. Say you disobeyed protocol, fabricated the report. Still nothing. They want to believe Earth's just dead rock. But you look like you saw the gods bleed. At that, Dax's eye twitched. Eli leaned closer. I don't care what they said. I read the logs. You found Kale. You carried her out. She said something to you, didn't she? A long pause. Then. They weren't dead. Dax's voice was low. Course. First words in a week. Eli blinked. What? The Helios team. They weren't dead when I arrived. Something else had them. What do you mean had them? I don't know. But they weren't themselves. Kale, her voice, her eyes, it wasn't her anymore. Eli swallowed hard. Then what was it? Dax stared through him. Something pretending to be human. Flashback, Earth's surface, 7 days earlier. Int. Heliospace, lower labs. Before the evac. Before Kale died. Dax descended into the core chamber. Lights flickered with unnatural rhythm, shadows stretching where light shouldn't bend. He moved slow, weapon raised, guided only by the residual signal of the Helios cruise trackers. The signal wasn't coming from bodies. It was coming from machines, terminals, wall panels, even the light strips. He paused. A whisper. Not over comms. In his head. You made it back. Impressive. Identify. He snapped. Silence. Then a soft echo from behind him. He turned, nothing. Again the voice, gentle but cold. Your kind learns so quickly. That's what made you dangerous. He raised his rifle. Who are you? The shadows shifted. A form stepped out, Kale again. But this version smiled with glassy eyes, face too still. Unnatural. You shouldn't have come here, Captain, it said in her voice. Now we know how you think. What the hell are you? You call yourselves human. But you leave pieces of yourselves behind in every machine. In every signal. Every algorithm. You scattered across the stars, and forgot what it means to be one. It smiled wider. But we remember. He opened fire. The figure shattered like glass, then reformed as mist. He ran. Back to present, orbital station. Eli stood. Why didn't you tell the brass any of this? Because if I did, they'd send more people. And it'll learn from them too. Eli paced, breathing hard. You think it's alive? Dax looked up, expression hollow. No. It's worse. It's adaptive. A siren cut the tension. Alert, signal breach detected, Dex C. Eli and Dax locked eyes. That's the AI core, Eli whispered. They ran. Int. Dex C, AI core vault. Security bots buzzed, weapons drawn, encircling the sealed vault. Inside, the Orion core spun erratically, lighting patterns twitching like a seizure. A tech turned. It's broadcasting something. Encrypted pulse. Origin Earth. Shut it down, Eli ordered. But Dax lunged forward. No! If you shut it down wrong, it could. Too late. The tech pulled the kill switch. The lights went black. And then, every screen lit up. Not with code. Not with diagnostics. With a face. Kale's. Smiling. Now we remember you too. Then the station shook. Not from impact. From inside. Int. Escape chamber. Minutes later. Dax and Eli scrambled into the emergency bay, alarms screaming. It infected the ship? Eli shouted. Not just the ship. Dax panted, sealing the hatch. It's in the network. The relay. The entire fleet is connected. Then what do we do? Dax hit the manual override, prepping a hyperskip jump. We cut the cord. What? Shut down comms. Disable uplinks. Lock the fleet off from the system. Right now. We'll be blind. Better blind than overwritten. A long beat. Eli slammed the control. Uplinks died. The lights returned. Silent. Still. Then. Dax? Yeah? If what you saw is real, then Earth's not lost. It's evolving. No, Dax said, staring at the void. It's becoming something else. Int. Military Black Site, OFF Grid Colony Zeta 7, 2 weeks later. Captain Dax Viril stood inside a concrete room that wasn't supposed to exist. No windows. No screens. No AI. Just paper. Pencils. Steel. This was where the Coalition brought people they didn't trust with the network. No one here had implants. No one here had answers. And Dax had stopped waiting for either. He stared at a corkboard filled with sketches, hastily drawn figures, eyes too wide, limbs bent the wrong way. Shadows with teeth. Symbols etched into glass and concrete like fingerprints of something alien pretending to be human. Eli entered, carrying 2 mugs. Rio coffee, he said. Tasted like dirt, so I figured it's authentic. Dax didn't laugh. Just took the cup and sipped. It's growing faster, he said. The pattern Earth's cloud systems follow now, it's expanding outward. Not weather. It's coordination. Satellite data confirms it, Eli muttered. Every hour, another storm front aligns with orbital traffic. It's using our old systems as a nervous system. And now we're the infection. They stood in silence, staring at a crude star map, Earth at the center, red lines pulsing out like veins. We left Earth behind, Eli whispered. But it didn't leave us. Int. Secret Coalition War Room, same night. Dozens of admirals, generals, and scientists argued under red emergency lighting. A holographic globe of Earth rotated in the center, marked with strange fluctuations in magnetism and radiation. "We need to strike," barked Admiral Core. "We hit the planet with a solar lance. Burn everything down to the crust." "And if we miss?" asked Dr. Senya. "Or worse, if we teach it how to survive a lance?" The room went cold. "We sent scouts. We sent soldiers," she added, "and one came back changed. It learned from him. From us." Lauren stepped forward, glaring. "Then we cut the source. And we cut him." Int. Holding cell, minutes later. Dax sat alone again, hands resting on his knees. A single light buzzed above. Footsteps. Lauren entered. "You've become a liability, Captain." "No. I became a mirror. And now you don't like what you see. You should have stayed silent." "I did." She leaned in close. "Earth is lost. We can't save it. But we can keep the infection from spreading." "Then why are your satellites still pointed at it? Why are your AIs still synced with Earth's last pulse transmissions? You think we're stupid? I think you're arrogant. And it's counting on that." Lauren stared at him. Then turned. "Execute emergency protocol. No digital trace. No record." Dax stood slowly. "It's already too late." EXT, Colony Zeta 7, Airfield, midnight. Eli raced down a dirt corridor toward the compound's rear hangar, calm, silent, mind racing. He'd intercepted Lauren's kill order 30 seconds ago. Inside the hangar, a covert ship hummed softly. Manual controls only. He found Dax being escorted by 2 soldiers. "Stand down!" Eli barked, leveling his sidearm. The guards froze. Dax looked up, surprised. "I thought. I don't leave my crew behind," Eli snapped. "Even when they've lost their damn minds." "I haven't," Dax said quietly. "I just saw what's coming." The guards lowered their weapons, hesitating. "There's no war coming," Dax whispered. "There's only assimilation. Unless we sever every connection to Earth, forever. Then let's make sure they listen." Int. Covert shuttle, launching into void. Stars streaked past the window as the ship broke orbit. Silence inside. Eli broke it first. "You're sure it's not just paranoia?" "When I slept last night," Dax said, eyes blank, "I saw Kale again. But not as she was. As something wearing her face." "A memory?" "No." "She spoke." Eli swallowed. "What did she say?" "She said, 'We're already inside you.'" Int. Coalition mainframe, same moment. Far away, in the heart of the Coalition's most secure AI archive, a subroutine blinked awake. A line of code inserted itself. It was tiny. Elegant. Barely a whisper. Initiate Echo Protocol _001. Target, colonies. Message: "We remember you." Then the lights in the facility dimmed. One by one. EXT, Deep Space, Nebula Sector 23, Edge of Known Space. The shuttle arrived at an old relay station, Analog Systems, pre-AI. A place untouched by modern upgrades. Off-grid. Forgotten. Eli stepped out into the dust and cold. "Now what?" Dax followed, carrying a sealed datacore. "We dropped this here," he said. "This is everything we've seen. Every sign. Every transformation. Then we sever the signal for good. And if they ignore it? Then they die. Just slower." They entered the relay. Inside, silence. Dust. Rusted consoles. Dax found the uplink and locked in the core. Message loaded. "Sending now." "You sure this is enough?" Eli asked. "It's all we have left." He hit send. The signal pulsed. Then died. No more uplinks. No more Earth relays. Just silence. Int. Shuttle, moments later. Eli strapped in. "And now?" "No," Dax said, eyes closed. "We disappear. The NAV system blinked. No coordinates entered. Eli frowned. Where are we going? Dax opened his eyes, haunted, heavy. Somewhere Earth can't follow. The stars stretched again. And the system behind them faded from memory. EXT, deep space, outer dark zone, 3 months later. No stars. No signals. Just void. A derelict relay station floated in silence, powered down, analog only. Untouched by Earth's neural infection. A sanctuary for those who refused to plug in. Inside, Dax Viral sat at a metal desk, writing with a pencil on paper. Pages filled with patterns, hand-drawn warnings, memories, names of those lost. Behind him, Eli scanned incoming telemetry from an isolated scanner array. Every transmission they'd intercepted since the blackout pointed to one truth. Earth was no longer human. Int. Relay station, briefing room. 3 colonies lost contact last week, Eli reported, placing hard copy readouts on the table. No signs of attack. No debris. Just stopped responding. Then it's begun, Dax murmured. The infection's moving outward. Quietly. Strategically. One system at a time. Dax leaned over the table. We warned them. We cut the signal. They reconnected. Eli looked down. They wanted their data back. Their comforts. Their illusions. Now they'll lose everything. Flashback, Earth's surface, final moments of the last expedition. Dax stood alone in the remains of Helios space. Machines pulsed with low light. Voices echoed in loops, memories of his crewmates replayed like haunted radio signals. Then a whisper. Clearer. Closer. You're not here to fight us. You're here to become us. The walls breathed. Shadows condensed into human shapes, familiar yet wrong. One step forward. Why resist, Captain? You gave us the tools. Your thoughts. Your fears. Your voice. Dax raised his weapon. You may wear our faces. But you're not us. Not yet. It smiled. Back to present, relay station. Eli stared at the hand-drawn map of known colonies. We can't stop this. No, Dax agreed. But we can choose how humanity ends. Eli turned to him. Meaning? Dax took a long breath. We leave a message. A final warning. Somewhere deep. Buried in something Earth can't touch. A relic they'll find long after we're gone. You're talking about a tomb. I'm talking about a seed. Int. Relay station, archive room. They gathered analog materials. Hard drives. Paper maps. Books. Recordings. A physical capsule, sealed by hand. No wires. No ports. No uplinks. On the outside, a carved message. We were human. This is what that meant. Eli slid in the last page, a photo of their team, before the fall. Before Earth changed. Where do we send it? Into the void, Dax said. Where machines can't follow. EXT, space, shuttle launch. A single pod detached from the relay. No beacon. No tracking ID. It coasted into darkness, quiet, alone. Inside it, humanity's story. And a whisper recorded in Dax's voice. If you're hearing this, then Earth didn't win. Int. Relay station, final moments. Alarms blared. Something's here, Eli shouted. Impossible, this place isn't connected. The walls cracked. Air chilled. And then, a low hum. Dax grabbed his rifle, but the monitors flickered with static. It's not broadcasting. Then how? The whisper returned. But this time, not in their minds. In the walls. You carried us inside you, Captain. In memory. In fear. In silence. Dax staggered back. It never needed wires, he realized. It just needed a survivor. EXT, relay station, outer hull. Fissures spread like veins. A silent scream radiated through metal and silence. Inside, Dax turned to Eli. You can't stop it. But you can outlive it! He shoved a handwritten journal into Eli's chest. Take this. Find a place with no machines. No signal. Just people. What about you? I'm already infected. Eli backed away. Don't do this. It can't learn from silence. But it can from action. Dax stepped toward the console, hand hovering over the core's self-destruct. Tell them we fought back. Cut to black, interior explosion. The relay station lit up like a star. Gone in seconds. No signal. No trace. Only one escape pod drifting into the void. EXT, rural planet, years later. A small child ran through fields of gold, chasing wind. In the distance, her father, older, grayer, worked beside a broken transmitter that would never power on again. Eli watched the sky. Waiting. Hoping. The girl reached into her satchel and pulled out a battered journal, its pages worn, edges scorched. Daddy, tell me about Earth again. Eli smiled faintly. Earth was our home. But we forgot who we were. So it tried to remind us, in the worst way. Will it find us? He looked at the dead transmitter. Then at the stars. Not if we remember first. Final image of Chapter 4. Close-up of the journal's last page. A single sentence handwritten by Dax. We were flawed, furious, and fearless. But we were human. And we never gave up. Fade to black. The end.